tip.
Good afternoon. It is July 14th, 2025. You're listening to a little of column A, little of column B, hosted by Will Alimonos and co-hosted by Zach Bishop. How are you doing today, buddy?
What is going on, Will? There was a huge win for freedom earlier this week. The TSA has reversed the rules. When you are going through security, you no longer have to take your shoes off. Does this entice you to go traveling a little bit more?
I was never annoyed by it. It's fine. I think by the second time you do it, do you not just intentionally wear more comfortable shoes?
I think sometimes you have the option, sometimes you don't. I did not realize this went into effect in 2006 because of the shoe bomber incident. So we were getting close to 20 years of this. But I think the problem is that you're not building new airports, very frequently. So the airports were not built for security and for sure weren't built for taking your shoes off. So I think it just always created this bottleneck on the other side of, yeah, sure, you and me, we travel a little bit more. You're a little more prepared. You got your shoes loosened up. That's part of it. But then there's the group that didn't. And now you're on the other side and there's nowhere to sit. And now you're in your socks and you're trying to get to a spot. And it's not a nice big open area. Some of the newer airports are doing that. But I think this is going to help, except for the fact that it's been going on for 20 years. So now you're just going to have people that just still think you have to take your shoes off.
So I should wear my bulky shoes now. I can get extra.
I guess you can. Whatever comfortable for you.
Well, I'm more of I'm trying to save on room here. All right. Shoes are a bulky item to pack. I think if you wear your bulkiest ones, you're taking them out of the bag now. And I think before that, you're like, well, I can't wear these bulky things. I got to take these on and off.
It's a hassle, especially something with laces. So I think it's cool.
It's progress.
Big win for freedom.
We don't get improvements often. It's a pretty big improvement.
Step in the right direction.
Yeah, maybe that's better. So let me ask you this. So now with all of this, groundbreaking news here, do you think this line gets any faster?
I really think it does. I think that the shoes are the biggest part. I'm going to go shoes, laptops out of bags, and then belts.
I think you're low playing the batteries now. I think you got to get all those the portable batteries. You got to get those out now. I think those are the forgotten items. What do they want to look in my bag for? What? And it's oh, you just wanted that? I could have taken that out for you. And it's well, we said take out all batteries. It does sound like we're just saying devices, but it's batteries that I think they want out.
It's considered a device. Okay, I haven't come across that as too big of an issue, but I could see that as a unexpected item.
But at the end of the day, Zach, like you said, there are people that are used to this, regular travelers that are probably already splurged for the whatever the pass is to skip this already. And then there's the people that just don't ever travel and don't understand that these are the circumstances you got to go through. And to them, it's a first time. It can be very intimidating. It's a very serious process. There's not exactly a lot of smiles, I would say, happening. It's a stressful environment for everybody. And if it's your first time, it's overwhelming and you're going to be slower than somebody that's already done it before. I try to look at it that way. And I also recognize that there's just difficult people out in the world that are in a very stressful environment. And you know what? They're not going to suddenly become cooperative. So I get it. I don't know if it gets any faster. It's, we all got to travel together. We're all in the same boat in some degree here. So perhaps this maybe lightens the load a little bit. Let's transition into a little summer league here. Talk about lightening the load, man. I miss basketball desperately, but man, as good as some of these players look, it is not good basketball. I tried to watch that opening night with Cooper Flagg. I don't know if you turned that on. It's not even that he played bad. It's just that I can't watch guys take bad shots while he's still on the floor for so long. I was thrilled the second game that he's just all right, 30 points. Why am I not getting the ball versus all these other guys chucking up shots? I don't know. Maybe you got a different feeling from summer league. I'm not discouraged by the talent that's coming to the league. I'm just discouraged by watching summer league. It's not good basketball.
Did someone tell you it was going to be good basketball?
I don't know.
It's not new for this year. This is what happens, and I think part of the issue, as well as your nearest comparison, is the finals, which is the top level of basketball anywhere. And now, if you were comparing summer league to maybe a January Tuesday game, it might be a little bit closer. But with this, these are all guys that are either not on NBA teams or they were just drafted, and you get a little bit of run where Coop played his 2 games and he's done. There's no reason to keep sending him out there. Yep. You understand it? Cool. You're good to go. And I think a lot of these top guys, that's pretty much what happens. You play, basically 2 games, and then you're done. Then you move on. You start getting ready for the offseason. I mean, you look at this team, the summer league team that Coop is playing for. Is this the worst team that he's played on since what? Early high school? You look at his high school.
Yeah, easily.
You look at his high school, senior team, and for sure it was one of these, premier schools. But I think if not all of the guys got drafted, it was like 4 out of the 5 got drafted, and probably one of them is just a year younger. All the Duke guys, they all got drafted, so they're all playing in summer league. So I've been kind of keeping up with that. But now he's out there, and I agree with you. I mean, part of it too in that first game. They throw the ball up. They win. They throw Coop the ball. It's like, all right, cool. They're going to have him playing, point forward here. Like, that's going to be good for him. The Lakers double team him in the backcourt. I thought it was impressive that he only had 1 turnover with the amount of times that, there would be just kind of a routine pick and roll at the top. And in Summer League, they're double teaming Flagg. I'm sure Jason Kidd was thrilled with it. Of like, all right, yep, really try this out. And yeah, his efficiency wasn't very good, but it's Summer League. Get some shots up.
Man, he's going to play better with better talent around him. So do we want Coop to play more than 2 games, or is this turning into this NFL preseason sort of feeling where, they play 6, but you really only play in 2, and then it kind of turns into 1, and then if you're certain guys, you don't play any at all? Like, is this a trend I should be worried about that I'm already not really liking this, and now we only got 2 games out of Cooper. Like, I have nothing else to really look forward to in Summer League now. Or maybe I'm wrong. Is there someone else I should be watching?
As a fan of basketball, it's no. I would like for him to play all of the summer league games, but that's just a selfish fan. Even probably playing 2. He was the number 1 pick. He's been, like the number 1 pick pretty much since he reclassified. So, what are you going to see in summer league besides that first game where he kind of shoots inefficiently, and so they'd be like, oh, I don't know, maybe he just doesn't have it. Where second game, very clearly, no, like he's fine. And I thought even in the first game, I thought that he looked comfortable. He for sure looked like he belonged out there. It was almost like too much excitement, where I noticed it more on defense, where he's in the lane and a guy goes for a floater, and there's no chance he's going to block it. But he is jumping like at full level, full extension, trying to swat it into the stands. And that's just one of those things that you haven't played in a while. You just get back out in the court. There's a crowd there. You're excited. And once he gets into the NBA season, he's going to, figure out, okay, here's the routine. Here's where you can, use your time. He's going to be a rookie. But for the teams, they already know Coop's good to go. He's going to be a starter on the Mavericks day 1, ready to go. They got to look at these other guys down the list and say, all right, is this guy going to make the team, towards the end? Is this guy a G League guy? Do we want to offer him any sort of contract? Or are you just trying to get some information, trying to create some connections? But I mean, most of these guys in Summer League, they're not going to play in the NBA.
Yeah, they're all fighting for the wrong reasons that aren't team-oriented. They're fighting for their careers. I get it. I wish it visually was a little bit more entertaining of a game. There's no chemistry.
I think part of the reason,
There's
some of the issue is the angles. Or not so much the angles, but
the camera
definitely
angle?
in that, yeah. I think it's the areas that they're playing in. They're not playing in like full arenas. It's like a different area, which makes sense because until pretty recently, it's like, what was the Summer League? And now it's kind of got novelty of, there's been a lot of talk, and the media guys have gotten there, and now you find out there's celebrities there. So I think it's expanded that. But I think on TV, it almost looks like you're watching like a high school game. I think that's kind of the idea with Summer League of like they're not real NBA jerseys. For the Coop game, they definitely had legit announcers. They were really trying to hype it up as best they could.
Well, how did they hype it up? What was it being sold as, Zach? What was it being sold as?
It was Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James.
What are we doing? The number 1 pick versus LeBron James' kid from last year's draft class.
I'm telling you, dude, the Summer League, they got to do whatever they possibly can. For a while now, it's been number 1 versus number 2 is usually if it's not the first game, it's like the first premiere, okay, at 8:00 Eastern, the whole thing. But I think part of Summer League now, it's just, it's the celebrityness of it. And, Bronny's playing. It means LeBron James might be there, so other celebrities might be there. Oh, Coop, he's popular. But I think it has way more to do with I'm hoping to be seen and see celebrities more than anything to do with the basketball game that was happening.
It's not attractive to NBA fan. I'm not tuning in to watch Bronny. I'm tuning in to watch Cooper Flagg. And the idea that you're advertising me to tune in to watch Bronny is like you're trying to get me to watch Bravo or something. Like I'm changing the channel.
I tried to hustle you because the lead into it was the tickets are this much for courtside is $3,000 to see Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James, and I felt like I was pretty mature about the whole thing, and but I tried to get you to said, hey, on this breakdown, how much of this breakdown is Coop and how much of this breakdown is Bronny?
It's wild to me that it was even a proposal that this was. I understand you got to advertise the player on each team.
He dunked it. Did you see? Bronny James, he dunked in a summer league game.
I'm not even
jumped in the air. He dunked it.
He's playing better, but the idea that he is like a marquee, tune in this blank day to see Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James is just not true. And I don't think it's doing the kid any favors either. What he's not asking for this. Do you think he wants that? You think Bronny's like excited that he's up there with the Cooper Flagg on the opening ESPN broadcast? Like that's exciting for him.
I think his whole life is just totally different from anybody else's to try to compare it. But maybe he's playing better. I don't know. I don't see him making an impact on the Lakers this year.
No, I don't see that either. But I think he looks better than he looked last year. He hasn't gotten worse. You know, the problem is that there's this. I guess it's a debate, but there's this starting point of where he is on his career right now. He got drafted at this point, which I think pushed him a little bit farther than I think anyone else would have had him along. He's had a whole year under his belt. I think that's not nothing, but I don't know where we're going from here because I don't really know where we started. This is a player that probably shouldn't even been drafted to begin with that is still in the league. And where do we go from there? I guess you only go up, but like how far are they up before this actually becomes relevant is a long way. So I don't really know what else to talk about with this other than I just thought that was so lame of ESPN to just try and capitalize off of that. I think that's not what they should be doing.
I think he's got the celebrity portion to it, and whatever sells tickets, and clearly it sold tickets because that was by far the highest ticket and set record. So they knew what they were doing, and it worked.
Yeah, I'm curious. Is there? It's such a unique situation that it's like, do we learn from this at all? Like, does the next famous kid? Is this the same treatment we're doing, or if we don't do it, is it then? I don't know. I haven't been down this road before. I know we have other father-son sort of combos. This one seems so different and unique with the attention and honestly skill gap that it's still a story that is not going away. Let's transition to maybe a little bit more exciting off-season story here, and that is Joe Mazzulla doing off-season interviews. Are you catching some of these? He's out there, and he is not shy or quiet.
It's fun because he's in between. I guess I'll say where he won't be guarded and he'll say what's on his mind, which is cool because a lot of times when coaches talk, it is coach speak and it is just word salad and there's nothing actually said. But I feel like when he says these outlandish types of things, it's never as a Celtics fan that I go, oh no, like he said that, like, oh, that's going to get, oh, he said that about LeBron, or it's like a hot take, or like he's looking for attention. I really feel like he's doing this from a genuine place, and this is not hot takes, like for hot takes, which a lot of people are doing, where he's like, he's not doing this to try to go viral. He's naturally just amazing at it.
I think they're pitched as these half-baked ideas, especially when they get aggregated, which everything he says is suddenly aggregated at this point.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
When you listen to the whole thing, though, they're not as half-baked ideas as you think. Like, there's strong pitches. Like, even his business idea on the Edelman show recently, I thought that was a genius idea. I haven't heard of anybody pitch that. I understand what he's aiming for in it, but I thought it was a clever idea to come up with. It's essentially, it's not a trap room. What is it called? It's the escape room. With and what did he want to add to it? He wanted to do like an escape room, but for like a campaign room.
He called it the situation room, where people will pay to reenact crisis level moments. With the example being the Osama bin Laden raid.
Yeah, I imagine most campaign situation rooms would be interesting just to relive. That's certainly a headliner catching one, and a topic that I understand. It's very serious, but very stressful, and maybe that's kind of the point of the escape room is to anticipate a little bit of stress, a little bit of problem solving under pressure. I get it. I haven't done the escape room thing. Have you done anything like that?
I did one escape room.
And would this apply well? Like, would you be interested in something like this?
See, I don't see them as the same. They both have room in the name, but in an escape room, there's a bunch of different puzzles, and you move along, and there are different puzzles to solve. It's more like physical types of puzzles, or there's word games, and it's depending on how good the escape room is, there's a theme and kind of putting it all together. Where this seems much more of you're pretending you're the president, and you have your cabinet around you, and you have to make decisions in this high pressure situation. So I think it's different. When I first saw it, I thought it was like an airsoft or a paintball situation of you're reenacting the raid physically.
No,
but then as I read more into it, it's like, oh no, this is you are removed. So I don't know how it. Are you doing something where you are telling people that are playing paintball to we need you to go to the left and go this way, or fall back? Or is it some sort of more like a video game where you're not using controllers, but what you tell it to do, that's what it's almost like Call of Duty, and then the actors or the video game characters on the screen do what you say.
I think it's a little bit more of a video game vibe, where it's kind of the consequences of the execution of whatever decisions you make. What you made this decision, the results of it are this, so now we have to do that. And I think it's just kind of an ongoing, open-ended situation, which is interesting. But I don't know how you make a game around that. But I haven't even done the escape room in general. But I kind of get it of putting people in these situations. I don't know if this is enjoyable or if this is supposed to be like a workshop experience sort of thing. Like, are we sending jobs to career people to these sort of things? And, like, go learn how to make tough decisions. We're shipping you to the class over here for blank situations.
I mean, that's how he does put it. He says it's described as a mental team building exercise designed to pressure test leadership and decision making under extreme conditions. And I'm wondering if he's just coming from this as he was put in a leadership extreme condition when he got the the call that, hey, you're going to be the head coach of the Celtics this year, like right before training camp. Like, you're no longer in the back. Like, you are the main guy, and you got to figure this out. And I'm thinking as he went through this, trying, like, you can't, even if you know basketball, like, how do you train for the amount of scrutiny you're going to be under repeatedly night after night?
I think he's handled the media well. I there's a personality there that I wanted to kind of quiet down originally, but now I've kind of understand that it's a little bit more well thought out. I'm giving him credit for some of this wild stuff that's, again, just aggregated on headlines. I think if you take that out of it and you actually listen to a lot of his full interviews and articles about him, there's a lot going on in that mind there. All right, and I think it's a lot
all
more
very. Like I said, I don't think like these aren't, like you kind of mentioned, like they're kind of like half baked ideas. But what if you go past the headline and you listen to it? I think there might be a little more than half baked sometimes. And when he's suggesting them, it's not like I said of I'm trying to go viral. I want this attention. This is legitimately what I think. You asked me a question, and this is a serious, like, this isn't a joke to me. Like, this is for real.
I think if anything, it might just show that he's not wasting the interviewer's time and that he actually is genuinely giving an answer. I think that's almost the opposite of what Belichick has historically done over the years. There's not one. I mean, there are definitely one-word answers. Mazzulla's had bad interviews before, but I think those are more bad question asking. And Belichick is, I think, sometimes such a high-pressure interview that it's hard to ask those open-ended questions without getting one-word answers, and then you're just kind of sinking there in the room with him because he just doesn't want to be there. Mazzulla seems like he wants to be there in the room with you, and he's willing to see where the interview goes, and if it goes in some place of interest, he's going to provide something of interest. I'm into that. This guy represents us, all right? We don't have a lot of other fun off-season moves. I mean, I got to read these Damian Lillard rumors now as if this is something we should be targeting. Tatum's talking him into it. Did you know that? They're going to recover together, and they're going to be in Boston. What do you think of that idea?
I've seen the headlines. I just don't know if I really believe it or not.
Unfortunately, I would only want to do it to use Dame as trade bait. I would be like, all right, cool, we get him for $5 million, maybe even less, and then we move him for something. Because I don't see this being the missing piece, even in healthy circumstances. I wouldn't have seen this. I saw what he was last year before this Achilles injury. Even that guy taking those threes, I don't know if that's really a step in the right direction for a team that already has one player coming back from an Achilles injury. Yeah.
Really, for me, it's not Dame on the court. It is if it's almost like if Tatum goes to management and says, "Hey, I would like a recovery buddy, get Dame, and for a very, very low number, have him come in, and maybe it's a 1-and-1 type of deal, and yeah, they get to work out to help on this recovery together, where maybe it works because just because they have the same injury does not mean that their recovery timeline is going to be the same or that they're going to be doing the same things. But I do remember when Hayward was recovering, him mentioning like some of the hardest part was just the loneliness. Like, you've been on a basketball team since you were a little kid, and you go through it, and both Tatum and Lillard have been in the league for a long time, playing in the Olympics, doing all the things. You're playing basketball, like that's your whole life. And you're with a team, you're with the group, you're traveling, you're together all the time. You have that camaraderie. And that's what all the guys say, at the end of their career. It's like, I don't miss that 8:00 in the morning practice, but I miss, hanging out with the guys. And so if you are off on your own, if it keeps Tatum's spirits up, 10% because of this, maybe it's worth it.
This is like the dog's getting old. We should get a new one, I don't know. It seems like, I don't know. There's a weirdness to it. Of okay, these two things don't make sense, but let's do it at the same time together. It seems good for them as personal people. I don't know how it helps the team. Is really what I'm saying. Like we're getting.
That's what I'm saying. Just nothing to do with Dame on the court. It's just that Tatum has a buddy. He's got a buddy that he can recover with.
It's an emotional support buddy.
Yeah, sure.
There you go. Well, do you think Wemby had an emotional support buddy now that he's been cleared for practice? Has he been training with someone?
I don't know how it works in France. Maybe it works. Maybe they already had a guy ready to go.
Does he just have a guy waiting to play chess?
Could Dame go? Could get Dame go help out Wembanyama because he had blood clots as well?
I didn't even think that. Now it's like I didn't want him, but I didn't want him to go there either. Come back to Boston. That seems to make some sense there as well. Do you have any interest in Chris Paul? Do we know where he's going yet? Is he locked in anywhere?
No. It's been interesting because we talked about it at the end of this year. You look up and the Spurs weren't very good, and especially once Wemby went down, they kind of slid away, and the pop news wasn't great. But then you look and go, wait, hold on, Chris Paul played every game, all 82. Like, wow, that's impressive. Yeah, the only news I've heard about Chris Paul is that it seems like he's strongly suggested this will be his last year, and I would have thought by now. He's for sure the biggest name, except for maybe Beasley, but he's got a whole other thing going on there. So I just would have thought by now he would have made the decision, unless the NBA guys are thinking more like the football guys, going, you know what? I don't really want to deal. Not that they have to go to summer league, but I don't want to deal with all the preseason stuff. Like, I'll show up, be ready to go in November, and I just want to start playing. I don't want to do any of the other, nonsense.
Maybe if you could pick a home for him for one more year, and let's just say he finishes the year out here, because I think the risky part of where he goes is he might end up being traded by the deadline if he's not really a key factor, and as well as if he's definitely going to be done at the end of this year. I think there's certainly he's got to be careful where he goes. But let's say what's a good destination if you could put him anywhere? Because anything actually makes sense. Like everything seems like this is just him wanting one more year out of it, just squeezing one more.
Because he's not putting up any sort of crazy stats, but if he's willing to take a reduced role where he's coming off the maybe not even coming off the bench, but just, hey, we got some guys resting, maybe play a little bit, but just I would think having Chris Paul in your locker room is a positive for sure. He hasn't won a championship, but is competitive, has been around the league for a long time, and I don't think he necessarily helps with a super young team. Like, I don't think it would make sense for the Wizards to get him, where it's like these guys are two totally different generations. Like this guy might as well be the coach. Like, we already got coaches, but if you had more middle of the road sort of team that could just use, could this be a Sam Cassell situation?
That would be the best case scenario. I don't think that's out there. I actually think Washington is the best place for him with this weird Marcus Smart, Chris Middleton, Chris Paul, kind of situation going on over there. I don't know what that is. There's a lot of young talent around there, but he could probably get some days off with the young talent. He could probably have some days where he's going to play a little bit more important roles, maybe close out some games here. I could see just a little bit more professionalism happening in Washington. They've kind of already steered in this direction. I don't know if adding him is the right move, but I can't imagine it being expensive either. And also, Washington probably needs to spend money on something. Not that this is an expensive thing, but what are they going to spend it on if they're not going to spend it? They can't afford Chris Paul. This is, what are they too good for? They're not too good for Chris Paul. I think that's the move if I had to pick one. And it's not a great argument, and there really isn't a perfect home. Like I don't think there's the Sam Cassell piece. Is it like Denver maybe?
That's right. I just see it's more of his leadership than his actual production at this point.
Does Minnesota want that? Dallas?
And maybe this factors into, he put out there last year, but guys have changed their minds before, and or is this just completely a negotiating tactic? So maybe that's why this is taking a while. Maybe he thinks, oh no, last year all I want is one. So all right, maybe I can get like a little bit more money. I'm not looking for 2 years, just for the one, and that's why it hasn't signed yet. Is there any chance that no one will sign him and he wants to play one more year, and the teams go, good luck, buddy. We don't want you here.
Yeah, I actually think that's more likely to happen than we're going to hear signing with the Lakers. Because I don't think he moves the needle enough to be like one more year with the Lakers. Like he should just hang it up if that's what he's going to do. And one more year with Washington isn't exactly better at all either, but maybe he gets moved halfway through the year. Like the Lakers aren't going to move him. They're going to need him. You know what I mean? Like they can't move him. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is here. There's too many point guards in the league, and he's not really good enough to compete with them at this point. Is the problem?
It would be surprising. He's had injuries in the past, but to go from 82 straight games, 28 minutes, which isn't crazy, but those are backup numbers right there, to just out of the league. That seems just like a big jump.
A huge jump. But I'm looking at all these investments.
I mean, we went through it. What was it? It was only like 6 guys. I mean, for sure, you get rested. I don't know why they weren't resting him, but it was a short list that played all 82 last year.
It still doesn't move the needle. It sounds better on paper now. They're like, oh, he's not that old. Played every game last year. That sounds great. But we saw it. That doesn't. The eye test is still there. I mean, what did you see last year? That's like, yeah, let's bring this guy in. This is a good investment.
That's what I'm saying. The Sam Cassell situation.
Maybe. All right, we got to find the right team for that. Wemby being cleared. Do you think we're back on the right track, or big?
It's great news.
Big guys always got injuries waiting.
Odd injury for sure. I think it just happened to be with Dame and him so close to, or maybe not close together, but two like premier guys. And how often do we hear about it? And it ended Chris Bosh's career. It's like you hear this, and especially from a young, promising guy, and there's all this talk about how big he was. So all the extra stuff that he did and how crazy flexible he is to like avoid these things and the foot strengthening exercises and just all of the things. But then something like blood clots where like, I don't think you can avoid that. Or maybe they're in the lab right now trying to figure out how do we avoid this. But that he's cleared. It's July. I don't know if he'll play Euroball or not this year, but has plenty of time to whatever ramp up that he needs to do. It's good news. It's good news for the league. I want Wemby to be playing.
The league needs him to play. The Spurs need him to play. It's getting real now. All right, this isn't a rookie anymore. We're in year 3. There's hopefully no injuries. They made a lot of moves for him this offseason. I think this is the first year where the bar is being raised a little bit. It isn't just number 1 pick. Everything's gravy. There's some actual expectations, I think, this year. All right, speaking of expectations, last week we did this crazy movie game that we have not really come up with a name for. I let Zach host it, and I got yelled at for it. I'm going to let him do it again, but this time we're doing TV shows. Do you want to spin this off in some other way? Did you come up with a name? It's not start, sit, cut, but it kind of is.
It's kind of that, but we did the binge all day, start and quit, skip all together. But no, we don't have a catchy name for it quite yet. If anybody's got any ideas, open to ideas. I just came up with the game. You're the name guy. I just I came up with the best I could.
I think,
and clearly the best I could was just do the same thing that we did last week, but just with TV shows. So you see the end of my creativity there.
I think you're doing great. I wouldn't have thought of it last week, and I think maybe this week might even be better. The problem with this week is I mentioned you didn't share all the shows till, I don't know, what, an hour ago? I haven't had a whole lot of time with it, which is it's just fine. That's kind of how I wanted it. I'm not worried about that. But the shows that you gave me, I think were really good shows. I mean, that's hard not to say. Like, don't watch some of the greatest shows of all time, in my opinion. The only way I would tell you not to watch it is if you're just not of age or at the wrong age. Some of these shows will go right over your head, and there's no point even wasting your time diving into it. But
you were fine with skipping some of the greatest movie franchises, so I figured you'd be comfortable with skipping some of the greatest TV shows.
I don't know. These felt a little bit closer to home for me. Maybe those movies didn't mean as much. Some of these shows mean a whole lot more to me. That's a personal take on there. But let's go down the list here. We got what, 20 shows again?
We got 20 shows. The first 10 are the top TV dramas, and the second 10 are the top TV comedies.
All right, you ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right, what do we got?
Number one. Number one, The Sopranos.
To me, this is a binge it. This is an excellent, the mob standard of crime drama you're ever going to see. There's excellent characters. There's this kind of what's going to happen next feeling throughout season after season. There's excellent characters. There's just a really good acting. The anti-hero thing, it's very adult content. This is, to me, like classic HBO, the starter package of why and how HBO got to where it's at. This is an easy binge all day for me. And I think the only thing that this kind of gets a bad name for is the ending, which is so memorable and so controversial that it almost damaged the show. So if this were to be a start and quit, would you possibly say just quit before the last episode?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You notoriously hate most endings, and I think the endings are super hard. It's super hard to wrap it up, and I think that they could have gone multiple directions, and there have been people that were upset, and they did it in a super unique way, something that had never been done before, and everybody knows about it. Everybody knows about it, and I don't think that it diminishes it at all. I think there are people that like it, people that don't like it. I think there are people that have changed over time, but I like the idea of, you know what, we're going to do something creative and not just go with kind of the default of let's just kind of wrap everything up in a nice little bow and everybody walks away happy. Like, it gave people something to talk about.
And we're still talking about it. I have
Still.
This is the Tarantino what's in the briefcase sort of thing of like, we could talk about this forever. You might hear a new take. Somebody might come up with some wild thing and you'd be like, you know what? I never heard of that. And you know what? Now I'm going to think about it. And if I go back and watch it again, you can watch everything with a different view. And I think it's still very satisfying. This is an easy binge all day. This is an all-time show. What do we got for number 2?
Well, hold on. I also have it as binge all day. And now that we you had the baby shower, your sister had the baby shower, you being an uncle, it feels a lot more real. So I also have the ages for this. So I went 17 for this one.
I put 18 to 21. I think this has got to be like a college binge in your free time where someone else, like a lot of these shows, these older ones right here, I think somebody in your life that you respect is going to have to tell you to watch this, or at least make fun of you enough that you haven't seen it to force you into watching it. So I think that's
this one and the next one, both HBO. So the amount of episodes isn't crazy. I mean, everything now, it gets shorter and shorter, but these are full 60 minutes. It's not, it fits an hour worth of television. So you can kind of mess around and get a snack and, the whole thing will fit an hour. Like, this is the full hour. So number 2, right in the same neighborhood, The Wire.
Oh, man. I love The Wire. I'm rewatching it right now. It's not the first time I've seen it. It's not the first time I've rewatched it.
Won't be the last time either.
Won't be the last time. No, definitely will not be. The age range of suggestion on this was probably a little bit harder, where this is kind of a high maintenance, high detail show that even your first time through, I don't know if you truly appreciate or even understand what the show's about. It's not so like you fail through the first watch and get through the second watch. You're like, oh, I get it now. This is kind of like a chain reaction where the main city is Baltimore and you're seeing, it seems slow. I know the show seems slow, especially at the beginning. And in the second season, we drift so far off from the first season that it seems like it's unrelated, but it all really comes together as Baltimore being this chain reaction, seeing everything from every single angle. I mean, this is like the realest, most effective big picture show I think you're ever going to see. And I think it even almost aged better of being like this certain era, very pre-cell phone. I mean, it's called The Wire. So like, this isn't new technology, but I do think it does a very good job of just showing all the moving pieces within a city at every single level and how everything is affected by one another better than just about any other show.
I think what's crazy now is with so much focus on, pagers and, very much like you said, like it's an older show. Like there's no cell phones. Cell phones aren't even like close to being in the picture. I mean, it was made at that time, but it's so old now. It's going to feel like a period piece. I mean, it sure feels to you that way.
I think a period piece is how I would sell it to anybody that hadn't already seen it at this point. I don't think you could do it any other way. I think you would have to sell it as a period piece. It's too much to overcome. I mean, the beeper system, the styles, the attire.
It's 30 years ago.
Yeah. So the age thing I said was tricky because I think this is one thing where I think you got to attempt to watch it when you're 21 and then you probably rewatch it when you're 25 or 30 is kind of where I think you fall into this. You think there's anyone younger than 21 that can handle or have any interest in this and make through any of these episodes? Like, how old do you got to be?
I put 17, but I agree with you on you're going to want to watch this more than once. And yeah, I just don't know if you can get a 17-year-old to sit down, especially a 17-year-old 17 years from now, as it especially, I think, compared to like The Sopranos, some of these other shows that we're going to go to, is going to feel extra slow. I
still think it's a very important show, and I think it'll age just fine. I just think it's going to be, it was a tough sell for my generation. Even the first time I watched it, I was like, everyone's list has got The Wire on it for greatest shows of all time. It's somewhere on there. It's not lost. It's on someone's list every time, and you see it enough time on these recommendations, you're like, all right, finally, I'll just watch it then. What's so great about this damn thing? And then you watch it, and you think it's just going to blow you away in the first season. It just doesn't. It kind of just accumulates season after season, and then you're like, I don't understand what's going until it all makes sense. And then once it makes sense, it's like, wow, what a show. I don't know how else to sell it. It's a tough sell. It's really what I'm saying. All right, what do we got for the next one? Anything, or what was your age for this one? I'm taking over your hosting job.
17.
17.
17. Right. Yeah. Third one. Another classic. Breaking Bad.
I think it's a binge all day. It's another wild anti-hero story. This is unbelievable execution. It's smart, clever, brains, creative. Whether it's the RV, the termite tenting, the train robbery. I think it's visually cinematic. Sunsets, blue meth. Just all really cool stuff about Breaking Bad. We're going to talk about another show related to it later, but this is a groundwork for an excellent show in an excellent world that's very, very, very developed with just fun characters that you learn more and more about the more the world expands. I think it's an easy binge all day. This might be the first show I ever truly binged. Is this one of the first shows you ever binged?
It was on the early side. Definitely wasn't the first one. I was definitely more on binging TV shows. Was definitely was in the mix when I started watching it. It was still earlier on. It's the first time that I finished a season. There was another season, but it was just so heavy. It was I just need a break, and not even I'm gonna like take a break tonight because you're in college and it's 2 a.m. It's like I'm just not gonna start the next season until tomorrow. It's like I'm gonna take a couple of weeks and just reset here. Where normally, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and normally a cliffhanger like, oh, I need to know, I need to go like right in the next one. It's just like I just need a break. You take some deep breaths, but that was the first time that had happened.
It's a tough age one. I think 16 is about all right, but I mean, then there's some darkness in the show that is not shy, and I'm not even talking about the violence. I think it's more about the cruelty that way some people treat each other in the show is maybe a little heavy for a 16-year-old, but I think that's roughly the age we're aiming for. What'd you have?
I kept it with the other ones at 17. It is AMC, so there's still crazy violence, but it's just not as graphic with it not being HBO.
Yeah, what do we got next?
Next one on the list, also AMC, Mad Men.
This is it. You talk about time travel to a specific era. This is a period piece here. This is old gen versus new gen. The game's changing. It's caught up in just the times. I love this show. This is tough business with excellent characters. I don't know how much more to say about this other than I like the characters. We find out about everything about everyone, and it goes more into everyone's life than just The Office, and that's satisfying. And I think it's wrapped up very nicely season after season as the times go by. And this is very rewatchable to me. This is an easy binge all day. I think the age you want to go for it, this one is your first old fashioned, which I think we legally have to say is 21, right? So 21 is the age I'm recommending.
I put 16. You can get away with that 16 compared to these other ones. I would also not recommend going in order here and going Sopranos, The Wire, and Breaking Bad, all three back to back. There's something nice about Mad Men where terrific show, but just the stakes still feeling high, but it's set in the in the 60s, but it's all very real. It's people going to work, they have a job in New York City, it's advertising, it's not really life or death. Like some of these other shows, it is like ratcheted all the way up to 11 all of the time. In Mad Men, also stressful, but it's just in a different way. I think it's a good way to go about it. I think you could start at 16. I think to really start appreciating it, maybe closer to 19. So like you, or maybe even a little bit after, where you're getting your first job, and so you're kind of starting off the same way Peggy is starting off at the ad agency, and you kind of are starting a new role, a whole new chapter of your life, trying to figure things out in the the adult world, and kind of going from there.
I like the idea of watching this going into the work environment world, because there's so many different people within the business at different ages and different career points that you're going to run into those sort of, maybe not exact types of people, but similar positions type people within your world, I imagine. And it'll be similar politics and positions happening that still happened in this show happening today. It's a really, really well made show. As you can tell, I've rewatched that one as well. All right, what do we got next?
Next one on the list, Game of Thrones.
I've never seen it. So I said skip it. I said just watch the new HBO trendy show. There's probably one happening right now. I mean, am I wrong, or does this just not feel like the same cult classic as some of the ones I've talked about before? I haven't seen it, so I'm talking out of inexperience here. But just the vibe I get from it is that this seems like it was a trendy HBO drama, which happens every so couple of years, and that this isn't a cult classic such as Succession or any of the other shows we just mentioned, The Wire, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Mad Men. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I haven't seen it. So am I wrong about this?
I think where you brought it up with The Sopranos, I think it was not just the ending, the finale, it was the last season really disappointed people. So I think it was building up to it, and then they very much did not land the plane that was successful for people. I watched the first season and then chose to not continue. But dude, this show was crazy popular.
I'm not denying that.
I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of people that say The Wire is their favorite show, and really they haven't watched all of The Wire, and they've watched way more of Game of Thrones.
All right, well then that's fine. It could be a guilty pleasure. There are guilty pleasures on the cult classics here. I mean, it's not like Entourage is a perfect show, but we watched that. I consider that classic HBO. Like there are flawed shows. They don't have to be prestige to be cult classics. Is this just a dragon show with brutal hierarchy and animal cruelty, or is this like, I can't wait to see what happens next? Like, is it gossip? Is it magic? Is it dragons? Like, I don't know what the show is. It seems to just be something popular, and that's the only thing it has going for it, is that it's just popular. I don't know what people like about it, but it's popular.
Yeah, that's how it works.
All right, well, I don't know how you sell me on. I don't care about being popular. I care about it being a good show. I care about it being good.
So what's your ranking? This isn't if this is the greatest show of all time. This is the ranking when you're gonna watch this with your nephew, what your ranking is.
Skip it. You know what though? This could be the one that gets made into a kid show. Dragons and Magic. That seems more like a kid cartoon. They'll make that, right? I mean, we got Kid Marvel. We could have Kid Game of Thrones. What's the difference? No, tough sell.
There's a. I don't know. Maybe you want to read some of the Cliff Notes versions, and I mean any of these at some way of doing it. But
well, look, what's the kids' version of Sopranos? Tony sold me an Italian sandwich, and it turned out to be just a peanut butter sandwich at lunch today. Like, I don't know what at least there's dragons and magic in this. What are the kid stories within Mad Men, Breaking Bad, and The Wire? I think at least with this and magic and dragons, we could make a kid show.
Shows. See, this is just your whole. You don't like fantasy, so you think it's for kids. Where this is a very adult show. I gave this the highest ranking out of all of them on the age.
What do you mean the highest ranking?
The highest age.
What's the age?
For this one, I had 18.
I didn't put an age because I just said skip it. There'll be a new trendy HBO show you can watch when you're 18, and it'll be just as popular as Game of Thrones when you're 18, and you can watch it and appreciate it then. This is like listening to like the pop hits of your childhood. Like, all right, Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys could be important to my generation, but they're not going to be important to the next one. The Game of Thrones would be important to our generation, but the next one is coming, and they're not going to care about Game of Thrones. Is my guess.
I'll be interested to find out on that.
And fighting words over these damn dragons. All right, what do we got next, Zach?
The next one, definitely much more on the lighter side compared to the ones we've been through so far. The West Wing.
I love the Sorkin words. I can listen to the monologues. It's like it's an orchestra to me. I'm into the characters. There are good days. There are bad days. Did any of the other shows have good days? Like, I know the West Wing isn't like an all positive show, but there are at least some successful good days of celebration and like little warm-hearted moments. Have any of the shows we've talked about yet have like a good day? Like, what's a good day on
Mad Men
Men?
has good days.
Mad Men's got good
Mad
days.
Men has
All
good days.
right.
Yeah, because they were always good about like everything's falling apart. Like, how are we going to save this? And then usually at the end of the season, something would happen. There'd be a merger. There'd be some sort of quick-footedness, and like it would end on a high note.
So I guess just having more good days makes this definitely watchable. I would have it as a binge all day, but I could argue start and stop. I don't know what season you want to cut it off. There's definitely some key characters that aren't there at the end that they replace, but you're missing some of them, I think, even though they might have exhausted some of the. There's a lot of episodes of this one, which is why I think start and stop is a bit of a recommended route. There's just a lot of episodes in them, but is the quality terrible? No. Is it a little dated? Yeah. Is it still interesting to be behind the scenes of the West Wing and any sort of era? Yeah, probably. And Sorkin knows how to use words better than anyone else. So I recommend this one as a binge all day. I don't know if you're really going to appreciate this under the age of like 30, though. Like, what is the cutoff on this? Like, how young? You could watch it young, but are you going to be interested in it young? Like, what's the age you said?
I think you could start watching this at 13. This is network television. This is way safer than the other ones.
It's safer, sure, but interesting. I don't think you keep it.
What happened to you? What happened to you in the past week? Last week when we talked to you, you wanted to watch John Wick with your nephew like at 1 year old, and now all of a sudden you like have all these different thoughts here. There's a 180 here.
Well, I think John Wick could still be interesting to a 13-year-old. The West Wing, nobody's going to think I'm cool if all right, the 13-year-old's not going to think I'm cool if I'm showing them West Wing. All right, they're going to think I'm cool if I'm showing them John Wick. Much more traumatizing. All right, this is boring, traumatizing, exciting. All right.
It depends. I mean, this is an opportunity for what kind of uncle you want to be. So, you got a lot of options. You got 13 to 30 years on this one. I went start and quit. This is an older show, like I mentioned, network show. It's 150 episodes, and these are it's not the full HBO hour. It's going to take you forever. So I put it as start and quit. You're going to watch it, and you're just going to get tired of it. It wasn't built for binging. It was built to be for over a long amount of time. I agree with you. I think it holds up through most of the seasons, but I had to have it as a start and quit.
Yeah, the only thing even the one thing I took away from that show that I still relate to even today's politics of like, all right, so they spend all this time running the race of running for president, and then they finally become president, and then it seems like you get to be president for like 2 days before you're like running for the re-election again while running the country, and it's like they do a good job of showing how the juggling that is like, this is why it's hard to get things done. This is once you're in there, you're fighting to stay in there, and nobody wants you there anymore. It's a lot of shows, a lot of episodes in it, but I thought I did a good job doing all of that. What do we got next?
Next one. This is going to throw you off a little bit. 6 Feet Under.
I've never seen it. I don't know anything about this show, Zach. I don't know nothing about this show. I could have looked it up. I could have faked it with you. I could have said, oh, look, there's so-and-so's in this. I did nothing. I don't know anything about the show. I don't know anyone in it. I'm outside. I'm on the outside looking up. I don't know nothing. What should I know about the show?
All right. So we're talking the final episode, 2005. So this is right around the same era as The Sopranos and The Wire. HBO. And it has Mr. Michael C. Hall in it.
Oh, really? Mr. Dexter.
Mr. Dexter.
Is that on the list?
But Dexter did not make the list.
Oh, man. Talk about comebacks. I mean, maybe Dexter could be the comeback number one next week.
But I had this one as start and quit, 17. You really can't go wrong with HBO, but compared to some of these other ones, Yeah, there's could be better uses of your time.
All right, what do we got next?
Next one, Better Call Saul.
Binge it. This is better than Breaking Bad. I'm not afraid to say it. Jimmy's a way more fun character to hang out. I like the slip in Jimmy schemes. I like the lawyer speeches. I like the marketing gimmicks. I think everything is staged and just as high quality and well executed. I think the characters are more fun just beyond just Jimmy. Lalo, Kim Wexler, more Mike Ehrmantraut. I mean, the history of the Salamanca family, everything about the show is a mastering of a perfect formula that Breaking Bad created. So I love the show. I think it's an easy binge. 18 plus, I'm thinking. I don't know. Also, would you watch this before or after Breaking Bad?
After.
You sure?
Positive.
I don't know. Would you want more into this world, or are you happy that it's kind of closed off now? Because it's again a quality show, quality movie, and obviously a legendary Breaking Bad.
It's tricky. It's like we got a delicious cake, and then the same people made another cake that was pretty similar, and of course cake's delicious, and I would like some more cake, but also knowing, well, if you have too much cake, you're just gonna get sick, and at some point it's not gonna live up to the same expectations. It's like these guys have an awesome ability, so just keep them in the same world. It just seems like a waste of, well, let's see what you do next. Like, branch out. Let's see what else you got.
Well, there's a new show coming. It won't be in this world, but it will have the actress that played Kim Wexler starring it. I don't know anything more, other than it'll be Gilligan again directing, I assume writing and creating as well, starring, what is it, Rhea? I don't know her name. It's Rhea something. I'm blanking on it. Anyways, moving on. Next one. The Crown, British show. Nothing against British shows. Watched a lot of British shows. I haven't seen this one. I don't know. Maybe I'll get to it. This seems like a Netflix one that I can save, and I'll get to it eventually, and it'll be good. It'll be satisfying. Is this like a ripoff? What is it, Downtown Abbey or whatever, Downton Abbey? Or is this more?
No.
No. Have you seen this? I don't know anything about this really. I know it's obviously a British, is it biopic kind of thing? Season?
Sort of. Yeah, it's a historical drama. Period piece.
Sure. It sounds like it's supposed to be bingeable on Netflix, but I just haven't seen it, so I feel weird saying that. But maybe that's the right
I said
answer.
skip altogether.
All right.
I wasn't afraid. I didn't see it. I'm just going to say skip it.
You normally want to defend a lot of British shows and, just taking shots at the history. That's all right. All right, moving on. Next one.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do it.
There's plenty of shots coming. Don't worry. We've been friendly so far. You think I've been mean. It's coming. What do we got next?
Final one for the drama, Stranger Things.
All right, I want to say start and stop for now. These guys got to land the plane.
Dependent on how it finishes.
They got to land the plane, Zach. You nailed it right there. They got to land the plane. This is long awaited. I have no idea how old everyone is. This show has balanced back and forth between being a scary show and a high school drama, and I don't know if I'm more interested in the underworld of this like sci-fi, crazy, scary underworld thing, or if I want to see where the high school drama plays out. I don't know. This has been such a long wait at this point that every time I get tuned in, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This was pretty good, and I am a little interested. And then it leaves and disappears, and I don't know. I think it's overhyped at this point, and I'm gonna say wait and see before they wrap it all up. Now, if they wrap this up like even halfway decently, I think this is an easy binge all day, and I'd say 16 plus, maybe younger. I don't know.
I had trouble with this one because my initial thought was, hey, these are like middle school and high school kids when this starts. But then when I was thinking about it, this show really ratchets up the scariness. Like it's got kids in it, but I went with I thought kind of down the middle, I guess, of maybe like a middle schooler, which I initially thought, and you're going 16. I went 14, but this one I really wasn't sure on.
I think this is one, if you show it too young, not only will they not be interested in it, they'll be scared of it, and then they won't want to watch it. So I think you got to hold off a little bit. I think I don't. I could be completely wrong. Maybe this is the one that make you look cool. Like you want to see some monsters, man. Like you want to.
There's some monsters for sure.
What do you want to see more? Like what do you? How can they land the plane in this? Like what do you want to see in this? Do you want to see kind of a wrap up on this underworld thing? Do you want to see character growth arc, or like what's actually a satisfying ending for this show? Like is anything exist?
I have no idea. Like you said, there's been so long in between. It's like I gotta like refresh myself on how the last season ended. So I'm not gonna put any sort of expectations on what I want.
I guess I'm just
I feel
having a hard
if
time.
you give me what I want, then I'll be like disappointed.
I have a hard time overlooking though, just like what age are these characters supposed to still be? Because the actors are adults
What does that
now.
matter?
They're adults now. They're playing kids.
That is how Hollywood has been working forever.
You don't think that's distracting then at this point that I'm supposed to say this is the most important season, their best season yet, and it's just actors playing kids?
It doesn't bother me at all.
All right.
You know, in general, the actors, they're pretending to be other people like the whole time, right?
Why didn't we just cast real kids then? I don't know. It just seems easier.
I don't know. Maybe there's a time jump. I don't know what they're going to do.
That's all right. It seems they'll pull it off in some way or another. I just find that already distracting.
I think looking at them, and I don't think a 24-year-old playing an 18-year-old is crazy. I think I can suspend disbelief. Right. The upside down world, if I can suspend disbelief for that, that's not real either. I don't want to ruin it for you, but
I guess I'm just I'm watching the real world people do interviews, and they're not kids. Like I know that's like saying, yeah, Christian Bale's not Batman. It's not like he's doing the interview as Batman. I'm just saying it's like watching them like put makeup on to look younger, but in the kid ways is weird to me. All right, doesn't bother you.
So when De Niro does it, it's okay, but the kids can't do it?
Well, De Niro's not acting as a kid. De Niro's acting as a character. I find it weird that we're getting 20-year-olds.
No, the one where the Scorsese one where they de-aged him with something.
Don't talk bad about The Irishman. You didn't even get to finish it. It's a great movie. You'll get to it when you're older. All right. I don't want to hear about.
No, but that's what I mean. They de-aged him. Maybe they de-aged a 24-year-old to look a little more like a 17-year-old.
Maybe I'm not making this clear enough. It's fine if you were to de-age somebody to look like another 50-year-old. It seems weird to me that we're de-aging a 20-year-old to look like 18. All right, just get an 18-year-old. Just get a 16-year-old. I don't know how old they're actually supposed to be. In my mind, they're still playing 16-year-olds, even though that they're clearly outside of that. It's just like, are they still in high school?
It's not an anthology series, though. You can't just get new people in it. Like, that's just not how the show was designed.
Then end the show, or don't put them in high school anymore. Proceed farther along within the world. They want to fill all the gaps of the story, going from where we left off to the other time, when the reality is we're like 4 years after that, the real time here. They don't know how to explain in between. You just have to accept it, and I don't like that I have to accept that. They should have wrote this better and filmed it better, more efficiently, and I would care more. I wouldn't feel weird about that. I can't believe this is the best conversation we're going to get today is about Stranger Things kids.
It doesn't, it doesn't bother me, and I don't know why that this has been a talking point where there are other shows. Maybe it's because this one's the most popular one with children in it, or former children.
All right, rack up another list. We're running out of time here. What do we got next?
All right, we gotta be faster on this, on the comedies. This should be easier. You don't need to go in and explain every show. I think people have seen all of these ones.
I don't like when you're directing the hosting thing here, and it's like the whole point of this is vamping. All right, I have a cue card that just says vamp behind me right now, and you're like, vamp less. It's like, this is summer topic. It's all vamping. You don't get to short vamping. There's no structure in this at all. The idea that you're like shorten this up a little bit.
Structure.
Button this up a little bit. Like, this isn't just a cue card, right? It says nothing for me to go off of. It just says vamp. Like, all right. You tell me how to vamp again. Let's do it.
First one, classic, Seinfeld.
Binge it. This is basic comedy principles. I think there's relatable everyday things, and Larry David is something you need to have in your life in some form or another. It's over-exaggerated, and you need some form of it. Maybe skip the last season? I don't know. I had binge. What'd you have?
Binge all day. Easy one.
17?
Next one, Simpsons. I put 13.
All right. Simpsons, I said skip.
I don't think you're gonna get a lot of it at 13, but you can watch it, and then later on, there's gonna be a whole bunch of jokes that went over your head.
Yeah, that's kind of why I said 17, where you start realizing, I don't know, maybe just you get to know more people by 17. I think you got to know more people to relate to some of the Seinfeld things. I mean, like, some people are bothered by certain things, some people act a certain way, and you don't realize it's different than you until you encounter it. And I think the show does a good job at that. Simpsons, skip it. It's just too many episodes. I don't know.
All of it.
What do you? All right. Where would you start then?
I put start and quit because you're right. There's just so many episodes. You can't binge it. It would take you like forever.
I also think that it's such a pop culture reference that it's fun to go back in time, but I think it's so far back in time for some people that it's not as like they're not even going to get some of the references. Some of the bigger stuff they will, but the little stuff they're gonna be like, I don't get that at all. That's like this one weird pop political topic of this 1 week 13 years ago that nobody remembers anymore is a huge part of that episode. So I said skip it, but 18 if you're gonna do it. I mean, what age for Simpsons? You should go younger. Like the pop culture reference is hard.
I put 12.
12. All right. It's not that you couldn't watch it again. I just don't know if you're gonna get it. I think a lot of the shows I'd rather you get than just watch. Next one.
That's fair. Friends.
It's a comfort show. It's a comfort show for us, maybe for me or my generation, our generation. But I don't know if that's going to take place for the next generation. So for me, I say binge it. But if I'm telling the next one, I don't know if future generations are going to care for this. They're going to say this is an unrelatable show, that nobody lives this lifestyle. And maybe that's just like all these other shows. But they try to sell it off as a real world thing. And it's just not. There's no dragons. There's no magic. But there's just as much nonsense in this one. 12, maybe?
I think that was a problem when it initially aired. This is an enormous apartment. It gets picked apart, but you mentioned it, comfort show. It's friends hanging out, and I think that'll last. I think there's probably going to be references, but I think that for the majority of it, you can sit down, you can watch one episode, you can watch 4 of them, and you're just gonna feel good. You're gonna connect to the characters. I put 14.
All right. Next one,
The Office.
Unrelatable desk job. Skip it. Coworker family comedy. I don't know. It's a prank show. It's like Impractical Jokers. Have you seen that? There's a lot of episodes of that one too.
Yeah, that one got real problematic.
What'd you have for The Office? I put 5.
5?
Well, they're not going to pay attention anyway, so what's the difference?
I put 13.
Yeah.
Next one. Cheers.
Start and stop. I don't know. Maybe after Diane leaves. I kind of really like the Coach and Woody transition. It's sad that Coach passed, but Woody taking over was a big part of the show. But I don't think you can get through the whole thing. There's a lot of episodes here, and it's not even that the quality drops off. It's just that it's a lot. I think it's a bit of that Simpsons problems of maybe some of the episodes aren't as. I mean, it's already dated. Start and stop. What do you got in this?
I put binge all day. I put 14.
All right, yeah, that's fair. I mean, this is actually probably the most appropriate comedy you probably could show to a younger age, don't you think? Like, this is some clean comedy. I think it's even cleaner comedy than Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's network TV. It was on before Seinfeld, which is pretty funny because it takes place in a bar, but you're probably right.
All right, what do we got next?
Next one, Arrested Development.
This is all-time favorite comedy. Love the show. I think it's a start and stop, though. I've tried to really fall in love with the last seasons on Netflix, and they're fine. But I think it's more of me being an addict of the show and just being satisfied with more. It's not necessarily better. It's not really worse either, but it's not the same as the original couple of seasons. So I would just say that's so superior to everything else that it's a recommended start and stop until you get addicted to it, and then you finish the last ones because you're like, well, there's just that's all I get for more of the show, and it's like, yep. And you just accept
and you're
it.
Fiending for more.
And you just accept it. And that's it. And that's the way it goes. And it's at least we got that because there's other shows, say like a Freaks and Geeks, where we only get one and it never comes back and there's never a revival and it's just gone forever. So I reluctantly say start and stop, but you'll be addicted and you'll watch the more of it. You'll want it. So I put 16. What'd you put?
I put 14. I think this is just I'm going with what's like the earliest you could show this that's appropriate, and you're going a little more with when are they going to like appreciate it, and so I think that's why we were having such a discrepancy, especially compared to last week.
There's long-running jokes, the recalls, the background jokes, the double entendres. I think you got to be 16 to even catch that half of this stuff's even happening. I think you got to watch this like 3 times as an adult to even catch half of the stuff. Like this.
There's a lot going on.
All right, what do we got next?
Next one, Parks and Rec.
I haven't seen all of it. I've seen some of it. It's similar to The Office, where I don't know, this maybe got merged in my mind of the same memory a little bit, even though they're completely different shows, with just an era of a lot of that sort of filming style. But I think it's a start and stop where you start at season 2, you skip the season 1, and this is a workplace comedy. Pranksters, acting, and comedy. 15 to get the jokes? I don't know. 12?
Yeah, I put 12.
Yeah, all right. That's fine.
There's a lot of physical humor.
Yeah,
Andy Dwyer. Like, I think as a kid, like you're gonna find that hilarious. Like a lot of the other stuff you're not really gonna get, but that you would enjoy.
There probably is a little bit more kid laugh of just silliness in this that I think is like you don't even understand the the politics of the show at all to be like, oh, loud silly things. That's funny.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, next one.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I think you should know what improvised comedy is. I think it's worth binging, but I think it can be kind of a hard binge where there's just this high maintenance of happiness that is exhausting with Larry, of him just trying to make the world the way he wants it, and it just saying no over and over again can be a little exhausting. So maybe start and quit is the smarter way to watch this, but this is similar to you're going to be a sick addict of wanting to watch Larry suffer over and over again, eventually at a point where this turns into a binge. And that's the greatness of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I couldn't really come up with an age on this, though. I don't know. Is explaining who Larry David is easy to a younger person or impossible? Like, this silly old looking guy that the world loves that makes no sense. I'm going to try to explain it to you. Like, how would you explain that to anybody under the age of 16?
A curmudgeon that gets put into hilarious, difficult situations.
I think you're still walking away from it as a younger person, being like, but why that guy? And they're like, we don't know. He's just good at this. It's like, yeah, but nobody else can do this.
I think it's you start off with Seinfeld, and if they enjoy Seinfeld, then you can you level up later on. But if you don't like Seinfeld, then you just you don't even bring Curb up.
Yeah, maybe there's life lessons in Curb, don't you think?
I think there's life lessons in all of these.
I didn't mention any of that until right now, so maybe not that much. These last two kind of go hand in hand, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so.
It's what do we got? 30 Rock and the Larry Sanders Show. This is SNL sketch,
both
comedy,
showbiz,
late night talk shows, comedy,
late night. Yeah, but all the behind the scenes parts of it.
I think the interesting part about this is that they made these shows rewatchable, like scripted shows off of daily programming. They were like, we already show all of these every night. I guess SNL's once a week, but the idea that they have a talk show every night on multiple channels, and they're like, wouldn't it be cool if there was just 20 of those episodes once a year, and not 300? Like that's funny to me that worked, and that's what they wanted. But that is interesting way to get characters in an environment. There's a lot of cameos in both these shows. There's a lot of comedy. I think 30 Rock's got a joke every 10 seconds. Like there's just zinger after zinger.
It's crazy. It's packed right in. Yeah.
But both binge it for me. I think these are. I put 30 Rock. I did 13. Larry Sanders. I did 15. I think a little bit more adult humor. I think on Larry Sanders' show, and maybe a little bit more silly humor on 30 Rock. But 30 Rock's almost like Toy Story, where there's things hitting in there that's a little bit for everyone.
I did 14 and 17.
All right, those are the TV shows for this week. I can't promise what next week has, but how are we doing so far on this? Are you enjoy hosting and telling me how to vamp?
I think we have two different ideas of what we're doing. So, we're just, we're exploring. Like you said, it's summertime content, and just trying different things out and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't.
Well, let's get out of here with a little NFL talk on the way out here. I heard Drake Maye had a wedding and made some donations. What do we know about that?
Yes, he did. So he and his now wife, they both went to North Carolina together. And I guess for a while they said, hey, when we get married, we already, I'm an NFL quarterback. I have plenty of money. I want to donate all of the gifts to charity. So that's what they did. They gave all the gifts to homeless shelters and centers serving children in need, fulfilling a promise May made to his wife. They got married June 21st. Clearly, very nice thing. Drake stepping in the right direction. You football player versus a person. There's a great thing as a person. Do you think this works in practicality?
Maybe. I'm not married. I've been to very few weddings. I'm not very familiar with even just wedding registries. I assumed it was pretty specific stuff that you asked for, and now you're giving it away to someone else that's maybe not looking for that specific of a thing.
That's where I'm wondering if they were a little more kind of nebulous, and maybe they didn't even have a registry. Maybe it was just, hey, we were just looking for, looking for money, so it was just the money portion of it. But yeah, there is a little bit of something of if it's more traditional of there's the registry, so you go on, you pick something off of Amazon. It's super easy these days. If you went on there and it's yeah, well, nephew Drake, I want to get him the really nice Cuisinart. Yeah, all right, I'll get him that. And then you find out You donated everything? Well, hey, man, you could have told me that. I wouldn't have gone to Amazon and had this sent to your house.
I would have bought the used one, like.
Yeah, if I knew this was going to happen. So great move by Drake, but it's like, I think we were like talking, the comedies, and I'm just thinking of like Larry David and his situation of, you donated my gift? or brings it back to Arrested Development of... That toaster was filled with cash. I always told you there's always money in the toaster.
There's always money in the banana factory, the banana stand. I want to remind everyone to subscribe. Little column A, little column B. You can follow us on our Instagram, on our Facebook page, and Spotify, wherever else you listen to your podcast. Make sure you follow Zach on his X account, which is
Wicked C-Man 24.
I don't know what we have in store for you next week, but we'll be back. It'll be Monday and summer topics and more vamping. Don't know what it'll be about yet, but we'll have something to tell you.